For more interesting videos, please do subscribe and turn on bell icon. Let's get started. You will see the giant monster in this story, who has emerged from the water and is posing a threat to human life. And it is creating havoc everywhere. It is a great punishment for humans to happen as such. The film starts and a beautiful sight of night is shown. A boy named Bai, who is also the leading character of this movie. He reaches a big-sized door while chasing a girl. He observes a beautiful garden and river when he goes to the opposite side of the door. That girl jumps into that river at the first sight. Whom Bai was chasing, and he wanted to catch that girl. So he also jumps after her. As they swim to the other side of the river, lightning falls there with its power from the sky. Lightning touches the shoulder of that girl. Moreover, the ground of that place is also melted. And that ground was pulling that girl towards it. That girl dies by being buried with the sight of Bai. It is revealed here as what had been seen till now. It was just the nightmare of Bai, not the reality. As Bai reaches his job, ignoring this nightmare, he comes to know, reaching there as his partner had been caught by the businessman's guards. It was the statement of that businessman as his partner had stolen one of the rare things. That boy was making everyone believe him while swearing that he is guiltless. But that boy was being ignored. Bai reaches there as that boy was going to be punished. And he says to the businessman, "I apologize on his part. Release him." He says to the businessman, "I am ready to do whatever you demand." That businessman makes his facial expressions such as his any task that has been completed. He has to let his work complete. And he had got the opportunity to make his task done. He puts this condition before Bai, that, "I will let your friend go safe and sound if you bring a celestial bone for me." Now, Bai had no other choice, so he agrees with the businessman. Whereas, Bai knew that it is a task which is full of danger. What could he do? He had to accomplish this task. So they set out to search for a map to get the celestial bone. And they reach a mysterious building, where Bai encounters a girl and he becomes worried, seeing her there. This girl was the duplicate of that girl, about whom Bai used to dream. That girl's name was Shirley. She gets ready to hand them over to the map, but she puts a condition here. That they will keep Shirley with them in their entire adventure. Afterwards, they are seen on a voyage. They were sailing in a boat and a mysterious man was also in this with them. That man was pretending as if he knew them and their destination before. They were all going in the right direction. When they had reached amid the stream, then Shirley's compass stops working, and their boat also begins to shake fast. Bai and Shirley had detected that there was a giant monster. They begin to cast a glance on the surface of the water, standing on the boat. They glimpse nothing at first, but a giant monster attacks their boat all of a sudden. Due to this, their boat is cracked. Shirley was going to drown in the water, but Bai saved her life. Later, Bai's all friends get together there to face that monster. Bai hits upon an idea here. He transforms the sailcloth into a fish trap. So he may bind that monster in this trap. As that monster jumps on their boat, Bai entraps him in his created trap. But that monster had torn that trap with a jerk. Now the monster has gotten aggressive. As a result, there was chaos on the boat. Now it was going to engulf everyone there. Then that mysterious man appeared who had been seen on their boat at the start. Now he attacks the monster with his electric weapon. That monster was feeling a lot of pain. At last, it had left there, leaving their boat. The identity of that man is exposed. In fact, that man was a scientist. And this scientist was also in search of the same celestial bone, for which this group had set out. Scientists tell them, "The way where you have sailed out. This way is not out of danger which you are considering. There is a threat at each step. And the monster with whom you have fought right now. Actually, it had been kept here by an evil goddess." Now they all prepare themselves to cope with these dangers. They reach a mountain where they see a temple. They step inside the temple while keeping their sight on this. Then, Bai discovers a button there. A tunnel had appeared before him while pressing this. That tunnel leads them to a gigantic door. Bai opens that gate hard. It was an ice cave where they had gone. It was so slippery and it was very difficult for them to stand there. Bai observes this. If they continue to proceed like this, then they will soon die after being crushed. First of all, he uses his knife and makes himself strong. Then he secures the life of his friend, Shirley. On the other hand, Bai's friends were also going to crash. Now, Bai does is such as he pushes, surely, on his other friends. Meanwhile, they all fall into a tunnel. Now they have reached a new cave. Bai was under threat, but Shirley brought him into another cave, throwing her hook trap. Shirley senses this as someone is around them. Then many eyes are opened in the darkness here. It was such a horrific sight. Actually, these were those wolves' eyes. And hungry wolves were too ready to attack them here. Before this, they may open any entrance, or they may reach there. Then all wolves attack them there. Then the entire group collaboratively fights with those wolves. They were keeping the wolves at a distance with the help of their swords. Then, Bai turns on some lights here. These wolves run far from the lights. Then, Bai decides here that he will keep all the wolves here while turning on the lights. While the other group members will take advantage of this. They will try to go outside from the upper entrance. Shirley utilizes her ship anchor here. She fixes this with the upper entrance while tying a rope with this. The attached hooks were damaged as she was trying to go upside down. Shirley had fallen down. But the sun's rays had appeared in the cave because of the breakage of its upper hole. Now the wolves were cursed that they could not come in the sun's rays, as the sun's rays will burn their skins. Consequently, those wolves go at a distance from them. But those wolves were still lusty for their blood. And they wanted to quench their appetite to hunt them. Fortunately, those wolves don't get this chance. They all move outside, getting the advantage of those sun's rays. But the clouds cover the sun immediately. And it becomes sunless. Now, Bai was caught in that cave with that group. Now Bai's friend covers it with great difficulty and brings him to the upper side. Now they had not a little courage after facing a difficult time, as they may face more dangers further. So they all come back without taking the celestial bone. Shirley was dressing her friend Bai's wound when they had come back to the city. Then it is noticed that the same mark on Shirley's back was also on Bai's back. Shirley gathers her whole group, and she reveals to all about that mark. This mark was not an ordinary one but a curse. Now, Shirley tells the story of that mark. The story of the movie moves to the flashback. Our ancestors were passing a desert a while ago. And they had entered the cave of the evil goddess by mistake, where an evil goddess had been taking rest for many years. That evil goddess had lost her temper with their entry. So she makes all monsters attack them. So they get this curse mark because of this assault. It indicated that all cursed people will die before 50 years. And this curse will travel in chains to their bloodline. So everyone got upset, listening to this story. They ask, Shirley, is there any way to remove this curse? She tells, the celestial bone for which we had come out, the same bone can remove this mark. Now, Bai, who had started to develop the affections for Shirley, he decides that he cannot let Shirley die like this. He will secure the life of Shirley at any cost, taking the celestial bone. Now all his group members were ready to help him in this matter. Now they reach the same caves where many wolves were present. They knew about that cave perfectly. So they came here with full preparation. So they managed to lighten that cave for 30 minutes through a mechanism. So those wolves may not attack them within these 30 minutes. And they may cover their way within 30 minutes. As they may leave that place, getting the celestial bone. In case they remain unable to accomplish this, then they will be entrapped in this cave. They make their way to another cave after entering this cave in any way. That entrance opens in the form of a temple, which was an ancient temple but in an advanced look. As Bai turns on the light, reaching there, the entire temple is brightened because of chain reactions. And they were moving ahead with full concentration. Bai's own foot is put on a trigger, that temple begins to shake fast after stepping on the trigger by Bai. And they attack them with strange weapons. There were shooting arrows from one weapon while swords from others, from which they protect themselves with great difficulty. They had escaped from them, then the great pins began to fall on them. They feel as if they have crossed all the dangers. A tomb appears before them. The same celestial bone was revolving on the tomb, for which search they had arrived here. Many giant monsters attack them here. As Bai keeps that celestial bone in his bag while picking it. Then the gigantic spiders attack them, coming there. The whole group fights with them to escape from them. Then, Bai estimates that all creatures are making an effort to protect the celestial bone. Then, Bai plans there and asks his group members to leave from there. And he himself becomes the meal of the spiders among them, because he had a celestial bone. Now the group moves to the cave situated on the upper side. Now, Shirley has stopped here to secure his friend. She attacks them, shooting an arrow. Then, Bai had also got a chance to go upside down. As they are moving upside down, those spiders pull Shirley down, using their website. After this, Shirley was thinking as her life would end here. But how could Bai go after leaving Shirley as such? He instantly saves Shirley, coming there. But he is also entrapped there. They both are fighting with those spiders together. Then the whole group comes to secure them. That scientist had attacked these spiders, approaching there. As a result, all monsters go far from them. Then they get a chance as they may hide themselves behind a big thing. The scientist was outside and he was also fighting with all the spiders. He was also spraying gas on them from his bottle. That scientist comes back after doing this. At the same time, Bai sets that place on fire while throwing his burnt letter. As it had been witnessed before that the whole temple had lightened, turning on a light. It refers to the chain reaction being created. Now the entire temple exploded while igniting it a little bit. The whole temple had ignited because of the explosion. Now the oxygen level was also ending, which meant that all entrapped people would die. When these people come to know that they will not survive now, then they all bind their hands with one another there, as they are showing unity. As they do as such, then Shirley's compass stops working again. All the people had left astonished, seeing this. Because the river monster had attacked them when Shirley's compass had stopped working at first. Then they know, this temple was absolutely amid the river. And river monsters are also around them. And it is also the same according to their sense. That monster was exactly near them. And it was hitting the temple's wall again and again. This is the cause of the temple's wall collapsing. And the temple was filled with a lot of water. Now river monsters had also come to kill them there. They were trying to escape from the temple while swimming. In the end, Bai approached. He notices, turning back. He felt that the river monster was going to engulf him. Bai's luck was good here as a big stone had fallen on that monster. And that monster is bound in that temple. At last, they had come to the surface of the water. It means that the whole group of Bai had succeeded in their mission. All were traveling on the train to return to their houses. Then, Shirley gratifies Bai that he rescues her again and again. Then, Bai says here to all, the curse that had been given to the people by that evil goddess, we will remove all people's curse through the celestial bone. Bai's whole team agrees with him. The movie completes this scene.